It's Monday night, it's RaceSpotTV. Where else would you be in this world than listening in to Monday Night Skippys here live from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca, here in beautiful California. And boy, have we got a great race for you tonight. We have got 54 drivers on track. Yeah, some of them are going to be corkscrewed tonight because this many cars will always lead to carnage. But you know what? This track always provides phenomenal entertainment. Rachel Whitefoot, Linus Poston bringing you the action tonight. Hugo Louise behind the cameras. Don't forget to check out our partners from the Campaign Against Living Miserably. And of course, check out Esteban Ballo's track pack for gourmet for the cameras we use in this very broadcast if you want them yourself. Out the field, taking you to the grid now as we're about to get ourselves underway for tonight's event. 15 laps of non-stop racing action that is going to blow our socks off. And hopefully yours too. We'll go through your qualifying grid now. Bill Fraser on the pole, Team Antonides, King Halliburton, Christian Novak, Jack Hobbs, Paul Grillo, Clark Williams, Ben Daniels, Simon Edwards, and Anthony Catt. It's your top 10 tonight. We're going to get ourselves ready because we're about to go green very, very shortly. We'll try and cover what we can there, but the rest of those will be coming up on the screen. Outside that, it's Leah Hughes, Thurston, Tall, McRitchie, Abdul Al-Amri in 15th place, Robert Plumley, Hendy, Martin, Woollett, and Taylor, your top 20. But we'll be showing them across the bottom of your screen for you there, so you can see them whilst you see the action that's about to kick off. Can Fahim Antonides defend his title this time round? Can Bill Fraser answer back after last season? We'll find out now. Good start here on the very short little climb to the crest there under the bridge, and they start descending already down towards turn number 1, 2 and 3, because apparently that's a corner they're going through right now. As we get to the first of the really tough spots on the track where you'll get the cars coming together en masse. 2 and 3 wide in places in your field tonight. What makes it through in one piece? Fraser, Antonides. Although Antonides closing in on Fraser already, just behind them. Halliburton, Novak and Hobbs were side by side there. Grillo closing in for action here, Linus. Top 5 not hanging around with the new season. As would you believe it, we just lost Linus Brostrom, so I will carry on. I'll say yes, as Linus Brostrom would say. The top 5 really are pushing super hard tonight. The field is definitely going to be one of the closest ones we've had in a while. Fraser and Antonides making a bit of a break at the front. Halliburton just dropping back in 3rd. Good fight here along with Williams and Daniels. As well as Simon Edwards there just back as a car comes across the racetrack. Who was that? Because that had to be one of the cars from very close to the front. That was the 40 machine of Christian Novak, who spun out through 7 up the crest. Top 3 quite close, coming just past the corkscrew now. Fraser still leads the way. Antonides though closely in 2nd. Most of our field have gotten through the corkscrew with no real dramas this time. Impressive feat for 50+ drivers, although there's some a little tighter than they'd like to be. A couple of cars just wiggling off the racetrack, and a big contact there with a couple of our drivers in your field at the rear end. I will try and work out who exactly that was for you that was pirouetting across the racetrack, because they decided to 37 car there we've had just with an issue. Alex Spencer, who got knocked off the track a little bit earlier, comes sashing back across it and takes out a couple of cars. Back to the sharp end. Fraser still leads away from Antonides. He's not managed to find a way around the young Scotsman. Halliburton holds 3rd place, but he's about a 2nd back from your leaders. Grillo has moved up past Hobbs and Edwards into the 4th place now, so that'll be an interesting one if he can catch your leaders. Grillo looking on better form than we've seen him in a while. Edwards going to make a move here on Hobbs. Goes to the outside. Can he take the undercut? He'll have a better run through the corner. Will just start to get the overlap, but doesn't go for it yet. He realizes this is a 1-line corner coming up to them. Under the bridge and across the top corner there. Might have an opportunity down through the corkscrew. We'll keep our eyes on these guys and what becomes of this event. Down to the corkscrew. One of the trickiest corners on this track and one of the most famous corners in all of motorsports. Doing it just right. Paul Thurston up to 10th place after starting in 12th tonight. He's back on form, it seems. Thurston charging hard. His teammate Gary Tall ahead of him in 9th place. They're both chasing down Leah Hughes there. Or Clear Hughes. Clark Williams, Simon Edwards, Hobbs and Grillo just ahead of them there. force and pushing hard. Antonides hasn't yet found a way past Fraser. The speed is big. Ben Daniels has had a problem. We'll have a quick look back at what happened to him, but Ben Daniels' car is wounded, and I think it was something that might have happened. It was a big crash in the corkscrew. We'll try and get a replay for you on this one. That was a 45 and a 667 involved with him. Chris Bassett, I believe, there, as well as Jonathan Sheen. Daniels comes in behind them, and the two big contact. Across the track they go. Daniels picked up a bit of damage on the way. Linus, we're just looking back at our leaders here, and, well, the top three have cleared off this one. Grillo, so he's lost a position to Hobbs back in the second pack, but Fraser seeming like he wants to set his season off the way he means to go forwards.
He really does, and losing out as little as he did in that last season, he will really want to come out strong in this one and come out on top and beat Fahim for that championship.
He certainly will, and right now he's setting the tone for this season as much as he can. Bill Fraser pushing hard, but he has two close competitors behind him. Neither's really made a good challenge so far. And as the rest of the field coming up through the corkscrew, we're already on lap 3, I think, at this point, which is just how fast laps here go. We're looking at our lap times, of course. We'll just have a quick look at what we had in terms of grid positions and where our timing sat. Qualifying 136.055 from your leader, and it was only 4 thousandths off for Antonides in second place. But our 1 second gap, 37.5, that takes us back only to about 13th place, very tall. So the field fairly spread out tonight, which makes, of course, a difference, leaders. It gives us a good indicator of how performance will go as towards the sharp end, Grillo fighting there with Edwards. 27 car of Simon Edwards will lose that position to Paul Grillo. Clark Williams sitting behind those drivers as they're caught up now by Claire Hughes and Gary Tall. That could definitely make an interesting situation as Thurston also catching up there. They've got a good gap behind them to Abdul Al-Amri, who's in the third pack back, the 77 car. He's back in 11th place, about 4 seconds back from that group with another tow of cars, including Plumley, Hendy and Vaughan Roberts. Towards the front there we have our first contact here with Antonides and Fraser. Antonides has the overlap on Fraser, have the line into 7 up the hill and round the corner. Corkscrew coming now. Halliburton looking to move here on Fraser finally. Linus says up to the corkscrew they come, and Bill Fraser's just lost his advantage 4 laps in.
He has, and smartly enough they're going to go single file through the corkscrew. Going side by side through here, you're bound to make contact or have an incident, but that was a great move, and well, Fraser will have to start fighting now.
He certainly will. Back in the second group, Hobbs still leading there from Grillo, Edwards and Williams. Like I mentioned, our group catching up. Clay Hughes, Gary Tall, Paul Thurston could be involving themselves very, very quickly. A good run to the final corner for Fraser. Could see him fight back now. In fact, he will fight back here on Antonides. Drafting alongside as they crest the hill. He may be alongside for the first and second corners, but he will have to take a very wide line and try and undercut Antonides. He'll go around the outside if he can manage it. Drops back, holds the outside. Can he pull it underneath? He can't quite get it there. Fraser's going to have to be patient for the moment. Can he do what Antonides did to him a lap ago? Beginning to climb up the hill would be the perfect spot to make that happen. Linus, turn 5 is always a good opportunity for an undercut pass. Fraser needs to get his emotions in check here, though, and put his car in position.
He does. He really needs to get a good exit now at this upcoming corner and then stick in the draft and close up on him up the hill, and if he's going to get there. But he gets a little bit of a slide by the looks of it. He goes a little bit wide, and Fahim might be able to open up a little bit of a gap here as well now up the hill, as we see Halliburton struggling behind him, dropping back slightly. But Fahim has got the lead up the hill. Fraser goes a little bit wider again. Here he comes though. He's going to have a run. He's going to look up the inside for his first corner. He's going to be outside coming into the corkscrew, but he's going to break later, and he's going to have the lead.
Oh, side by side to the corkscrew. Wow. You see it, first race of the season, and the bravery is already on display. That is driving respect there, Linus. Antonides and Fraser side by side to the corkscrew, and they made it work. And people say you can only go through it single file. They're clearly wrong, but Bill Fraser retakes the lead here, which will be going on to lap number 6 in tonight's event, a third of the race. Already in the books here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Formerly Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, of course, but new sponsorship there in the WeatherTech brand. Coming down towards the first corners again. Fraser has that back. This could be a big challenge this season in terms of what we see. Tall catching up to Claire Hughes back here. The 207 of Gary Tall. Always a potent threat to the race, Linus, but just trying to find out chance here as, oh, Bottle up ahead of them. We'll bring them into this action here with Grillo, Edwards, Williams and Hobbs.
Yeah, they're slowly catching this group before again as they have started battling, and that is Simon Edwards leading that pack, I believe. No, it's not. That's actually... Is it Simon Edwards? No, it's Jack Hobbs, sorry. But they're battling behind. Simon Edwards has moved up to 5th place and Grillo dropped down to 5th, so the more these guys battle, the guys behind will close up, and this has actually turned into a group of 6 now, or actually 3 pairs of 2 as they started splitting up again. So we could potentially see some battling going on here all the way through the race.
We certainly could. We certainly could, as the race is definitely not going to be anywhere near over yet. Tall, big run on Claire Hughes here. The 207 car goes to the outside on the climb towards Corkscrew, but drops back in line. Was very, very close. This pack now 6 cars in length with, looks like Mr. Thurston catching up from behind. He'll be wanting to get involved there as well. Jack Hobbs runs very wide. Edwards pulls alongside him now in the penultimate corner. Doesn't get the chance. Can he do it in the final corner? He's going to have to make a very, very big undercut move here on Jack Hobbs. Can he get it done? He gets a good line through the corner. Will have a run here. Simon Edwards likely to take this position here from Jack Hobbs. Gets the inside line, which is what he needed. That's where he wanted to put his car, Linus, right in position for these corners coming up.
He is, and he's going to get him actually even before the first braking point here, but he's going to brake a little bit early though. Going to hold the inside. Here we come with the crossover from Hobbs. He's going to be able to do it. No, he's not. He's not,
but Clark Williams nearly decided to visit Timbuktu there as he decided to completely not bother to brake. As Edwards holds that position from Jack Hobbs. Grillo right on the back of them here though, as are the rest of these drivers. Back up towards the sharp end. It's side by side once again with your leaders. Antonides inside there of, oh, a bit of a slide from Antonides. He nearly takes out Kane Halliburton, which would have let Bill Fraser romp home clearly in this one. 6-second lead from that second pack for these 3. But Antonides made a big slip there, trying to hold it tight. Fraser held the right line. In fact, he's still pulling distance here. And if you can make that second bracket, Linus, that would be a huge thing for him.
It will, because he will get out of the draft, and that would be huge, because even if you get a little bit bad exit on a long straightaway here, the draft will suck you right up to the car in front. And looking at these front 3, Kane Halliburton is currently playing the front Clark Williams role, sitting back waiting for a mistake, and that's exactly what happened to Fahim there, but luckily for him, he was able to gather it up and keep the 2nd place. Now will he get a good exit here in the last corner? He brakes really, really late. He's going to close up a little bit, but he's not going to be close enough to Fraser. Let's see if Kane can get a run on Fahim then. Fahim's going to go defensive, and Kane is going to just stay out of the draft. It doesn't look like he wants to make a move here just yet.
Now he's going to remain patient for the moment and pick his opportunity here to do something with this field. Kane, as you said, playing the Clark Williams role in this one. Clark Williams, though, playing the Bill Fraser role back in that second pack, trying his chances where he can. Although that group is now solidly 6 cars, with Thurston catching up from behind. Doing what they can here. This top 10 is very close. You basically got the last 7 cars in one pack and the front 3 in another.
Behind them, we got a massive pack of 5
do.
cars as well from P11. They're side by side, 2 rows deep here coming through.
That's Alamri, Vaughan Roberts, Plumley, Martin, Hendy in that group there. That's Alamri and Vaughan Roberts in the mix together, side by side now. Going to come up to turn 5 here, climbing the hill. Who will have the advantage? Alamri's going to hold on to it for now. Gets it done. To the front now, Fraser holding on still from Antonides here. Lap number 8. At the moment, Kane Halliburton sitting back there. Well, Edwards hasn't been challenged yet. Hobbs really trying to defend now against a rather charging Paul Grillo. As Williams sits back. Claire Hughes, though, looking like he wants to take a piece of this action. Behind them, Alamri's managed to keep it clear there. In fact, no, Alamri's the one in second place. I apologise from that one. It's Vaughan Roberts who's ahead of Alamri. Martin just behind them. Although they've lost Adrian Hendy. He's just dropped back in this field. Plumley still holding that top 11 spot at the moment.
And he's actually about to pull into the pits here, I think, because he's going
possible
really, really
damage.
slow. No, he's keeping.
Oh, here we go. Move, Linus. We have a move here. It's Grillo making a move there on Jack Hobbs, side by side there out of turn 3. Loses the position a little bit, but will get a good run now through the following corner. Can he get the undertuck? He's going to try and go for it. Stays in line instead. Grillo on the charge here. Wants to take that position off Jack Hobbs. Wants to get himself up towards Edwards and try and win this battle for the second best position in case someone takes themselves out in the first group. But Grillo trying to advance his position on the racetrack. Do what he can here to make this thing happen, but just not finding the opportunity he wants.
Looks to me like Grillo might have some sort of damage as well to the front wing, but I don't think that will affect him too much, as here comes Clark Williams to make a move. Is he going to be able to do it up the hill? Oh, Grillo's going to close the door on him. Williams have to let off, and they're going to be single file down through the corkscrew again. We can get the best exit down here through the hill. Everyone looks really, really equal, and, well, Edwards is going to keep the lead over this group. Hobbs right on his tail.
Certainly is. Yeah, Sam Edwards doing what he can here just to keep this one in one piece. Further back in our field, mostly a single file running from what we're seeing throughout this one. A couple of packs of 2s and 3s around here, Linus, but most of them really spread out on the track, not really getting involved too heavily with one another, as doing what they can, just not enough. Everyone just separated out by this very technical track that is causing a lot of stress for the drivers. They're just not quite able to get what they wanted, as we're seeing Vaughan Roberts versus the 31 of Martin coming to start finish line. Is just ahead of them. Al-Amri and Plumley side by side going into turn 2.
Al-Amri around the outside, but he goes a little bit too wide here. Plumley holds it on the inside and he can't get the crossover done either. He's going to have a little bit over under coming into the next corner around the outside again, but Plumley once again holds the inside curve nicely and slides out to close the door. Al-Amri will try and get the run though, coming towards the uphill section. Is he going to do it? He's going to have a run out here. He gets in the gravel, moves to the outside again.
He's running outside of Plumley, heading towards turn 5. Can he get it done? Not going to be able to carry the speed there. Vaughan Roberts also focusing from behind as well, trying to get himself involved, although Vaughan Roberts appears to have had a bit of a technical hiccup. Oh, there he is again. Never mind, we'll pretend that never happened. Al-Amri can have a look now on Plumley. Can Plumley hold him off? Goes to the outside here, climbing towards the corkscrew. Corner will be his advantage, but can he get the line? Just ahead, braking. Plumley has the inside too wide to the corkscrew. They'll come. Al-Amri gets the line there, but still overlaps with Plumley. Plumley has the advantage this time, runs wide, tries to carry speed. Can he hold the overlap to the following corner? He will get it in the slow speed right-hander just ahead. He clears him. Clears Robert Plumley. Plumley could take the undercut though if he gets a chance, but there's too short to run to the final corner. Unless he goes for a big braking maneuver here. Plumley might be a little stuck. He dives into the inside. Robert Plumley with a big defensive slide there right at the inside of Al-Amri. Side by side now up towards the line. We'll cross on to lap number 11 at this time, as it's going to nearly be 3 wide there, with Vaughan Roberts throwing himself into the mix. This is quite the battle for 11th place here on the racetrack. Monday Night Skippys never failing to disappoint. No, wrong way around. Never failing to excite. It doesn't disappoint. I didn't even English there, Linus.
Well, you got it a little bit one way around, but here comes Al-Amri on the inside again. Finally making it to the inside, and he's gonna probably clear Plumley here going into the next corner, as Martin is on the inside of Vaughan Roberts as well, and behind him we got more cars, one without a rear wing from what I can see.
That's Daryl Taylor, I believe, in there. One of the bananas is joining into this thing, along with Dave Martin and Connor Smith, I think, up in this action. Al-Amri's cleared. Plumley being swamped now. Vaughan Roberts going to get past him as well. Daryl Taylor might even get a piece of this pie if he's held out wide in this next corner. He's going to go for it too. Daryl Taylor puts his car in there. The banana missing his back end a little bit in that action. As the front is still Edwards, Hobbs, Grillo, Clark Williams, Claire Hughes, Tall and Thurston. But that 7-car group has closed up significantly here. Antonides has dropped back with Halliburton as they've lost the draft on Bill Fraser, who is running away with this thing as they enter lap 12 for themselves. 4 laps remaining in this race for the leaders, and what a race they've had so far. Bill Fraser putting his mark on this season already, Linus. This has been a phenomenal effort from him. He was passed once, he defended, he fought back in a sensible manner, and he's been gone since. Are we seeing the start of a season charge?
Well, potentially. He's pulled out a 2-second gap here, and that's quite impressive around the track like this, over a guy like Fahim Antonidis. So this could potentially be the start of his championship season, but it's still early. It's still race number 1 out of 12, so we'll see what happens. As Jack Hobbs comes on the inside here of Simon Edwards, looks like Edwards has lost his rear wing as well. Don't know if I'm seeing wrong, but that's what it looks like for me.
That's exactly what you're seeing. Yeah, so it's looking like a Formula Ford at the moment as he comes up alongside Hobbs, try to defend back on that position. Perhaps a little bit of contact or a super aggressive curve there, Linus, but Edwards has got it in position as Grillo looks for a chance. So does Williams. Can they do something here and make it through the next sequence? Oh, it's looking close. Oh, Williams sticks his nose in, but manages to make it do cleanly. As not quite as easy behind them as clear it. Hughes just loses out there to Tall, who sidles through, and now he's in a banana sandwich with Paul Thurston behind them. As here comes once again Simon Edwards, gets alongside Hobbs, who had a bit of a wiggle coming out of that penultimate corner. Goes around the outside. Oh, contact! Oh, big contact there. That affects quite a few of them. We'll get a replay for you. That was almost race result deciding there. As into the final corner they come.
Even Paul Thurston got involved in that.
He did, yes. As, oh, just too tight there. I'm not sure who to put on. It's a 50-50 thing, Linus, because Edwards and, of course, the other car were just so close together. They tap, they go around. Now, Grillo makes it through fine. Paul Thurston, I don't think got too heavily involved. No, he had a bit of a tap, but he hasn't got any damage, so I think he's all right. But that has definitely shaken up our results. It's got Grillo into the 4th place now, just ahead of Clark Williams, who's then got Gary Tall in place with Jack Hobbs, Claire Hughes, Paul Thurston just behind them. But he's now up to 9th, so he's going to get a top 10 result in this with the way this is panning out. As this is definitely getting to be a lot more exciting in this one up at the front. Yeah, no change at this point. It's Fraser running away now. 3-second gap over Antonides. This is what happens when you break the draft there, Linus. Halliburton just behind him. Grillo leading this next pack. Although he's also pulling a gap, being slightly less damaged than the rest of them. After they all got a little piece of action, it's going well.
It is. Looks like he's going to be able to hold on for 4th place. It was a huge dive there going down the hill. I believe that was...
clear. That was Hughes. Hobbs also plug. Oh, big goal! Round goes Hobbs!
Yeah, that was Hobbs.
Oh, big mistake there from Hobbs. Hobbs made a big dive in the corkscrew. And as he comes down alongside the car there of Williams, Hobbs gets a little wheel on the sand, and, well, sand and race car tyres don't mix too well. Whips in, whips out, shakes it all about, ends up on the gravel track looking rather embarrassed for himself, as that will be his event tonight, I believe. With Paul Thurston up to 8th place. He's definitely advancing in this one through fault of everybody else, it seems.
Thurston dropped back down to 9th again because he ran wide in the last corner, almost running into the back of Liu, so Simon Edwards got past him and Thurston is back down to 9th, unfortunately.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely one of the more difficult tracks to race on here at Laguna Seca, but it makes the racing just so much more exciting. Specifically to watch, driving here is, I'll admit, a pain. As much as I like driving this track, racing it is a whole different kettle of fish, and one that is a lot more stressful, shall we say, Linus.
It really is, and well, when you get it right, it's a really good feeling, but it's really hard to get it right, so I prefer not to race around here.
That's a very wise choice, to be honest, as the fight between Vaughan Roberts and Al Amri continues. Vaughan Roberts out ahead at the moment on lap 14. We've gone into final lap this time by, as the threesome of Williams, Tall and Hughes goes into the corkscrew. Everyone's staying in line. Nothing particularly dramatic, as now down they come. Can Tall advance himself here, get a top 5? That'll be a fantastic result for him there, as I believe Grillo is chasing down. That's passing a lap car, I believe. That's not somebody involved in the race. He goes through, the lap car gets out of the way here. Big advantage there for Paul Grillo as things have calmed down a bit. Clark Williams now defending the draft. Snake starts here between himself and Gary Tall. Tall goes to the outside, uses the draft of the lap car up ahead. Can he use that to his advantage? Can it help him in this race? That lap car is going to be in the wrong place at the right time here as he pushes wide, tries to get out of the way. Tries to stay as wide as he can. and doesn't really beat anyone but Hughes and possibly a bit of Simon Edwards, who goes 3 wide with the pair of them to get alongside Hughes there. Edwards is charging. He is so desperate to get himself into a position. Wow.
He needs every point he can get if he wants to be in the championship battle, and losing out this much this early is really not going to help him. So look for him to do something coming up the end of the hill as well if he can get close enough. But at the moment it doesn't look like he's going to have a chance to do that.
No, he isn't. Tall might be in a position. No, Gary Tall, the top 5 position nearly here. If he can get past Edwards, would be huge for him. Corkscrew for the final time for Bill Fraser. He's just completed that, heading down to the final corners. Antonides and Halliburton going through it as Grillo will be approaching that now. Some lap traffic ahead of Bill Fraser, who's going to come to the penultimate corner. Final corner up ahead. And it's been a landmark start to the season for Bill Fraser. Starting the way he means to go on. I waited to say he's going to be your winner tonight before he cleared the final corner, because I know how many times I've seen people go across that final corner, loop it out and hit the wall. Bill Fraser will come across the line as your winner here tonight at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Antonides and Halliburton come across in 2nd and 3rd. Will there be a change there between Williams and Tall? It's not going to be tonight, as they will also come across the line here to wrap up the top 10 battle in tonight's event. Thurston comes across in the 10th spot there, ahead of Jack Hobbs and other cars. What an event we've seen tonight. That has been a very, very busy one here, Linus. Absolutely phenomenal race.
It was a really good race. At the front it spread out a little bit, but we had a lot of battles going on behind and a lot of brave moves as well. So that was a very, very entertaining race, very interesting to watch. And well, for the rest of this race, I don't think there's really anything going on at the moment.
Things have gotten a little quiet.
We actually got a battle here for P32 and 33, side by side coming to the corkscrew. That's Neil Jackson and Ben Summers.
They are
about
indeed
1.5 minutes behind the leaders.
There's another car coming in behind them too. That could be Gavin Thomas, who's getting himself involved from behind there, as it's going to be 3 cars battling it out at the bottom end of the field. But you know what? The racing goes on throughout this field. Doesn't matter how fast you are, as he goes wide. Runs wide there, and looks like Thomas will have the chance here to make something happen into that final corner. Can he run wide? No, he's kind of stuffed it a little bit, but he's going to hold on for now. Neil Jackson will hold off the challengers now, coming across the line back there in the 32nd position. Folks, we're going to go through your post-race results now. Bill Fraser comes home with the win in round number 1 here at Laguna Seca. Fahim Antonides in 2nd place and Kane Halliburton in 3rd. Great racing from those guys. Paul Grillo and Clark Williams rounds out your top 5. With Gary Tall, Simon Edwards, Hughes, Thurston and Hobbs your top 10. Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Al Amri, Plumley, Martin, Adcock in 15th with Christopher Keeble, Anthony Catt, John McGovern, Adrian Hendy and Paul Rowell in 20th place. The rest of those results up on your screen. Linus, it doesn't feel like we've been away for 2 weeks. It feels like we're back. This is Monday Night Skippys at its best as always.
It really was, and this series never fails to amaze. And well, I had a bit of connection issues myself at the beginning, but it was a really, really good race to watch and battles all the way through, and this is going to be an amazing season. Seeing Bill Fraser pull away like this in the first round, beating Fahim by 4.4 seconds, and seeing Edwards struggle like this, it's setting up to be something spectacular.
It certainly is. Well, what a phenomenal run there tonight. Hopefully have a chance to chat to some of the drivers. In fact, Fahim Antonides joins us right now. Your 2nd place winner result. Again, my grasp of English language tonight is somewhat faulty. Fahim came home today in 2nd place, off the back of a championship last season for him, and now 2nd place. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a great start. Would have liked to have won the race, but you know, there's some tough competition out there, and Bill had the pace today. There was not much in it between us. Did you see in qualifying? We were, I think, 0.004 of a second apart in qualifying.
You were indeed. It's almost like we might have also been watching the broadcast.
And what happened is, I think I clobbered the my left wing in somewhere. I don't know where I clobbered it, but this season, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've changed the build on the car, and it's down on power. And what I've noticed is that compared to the previous seasons, if you damage your aero, the car just doesn't have the power it used to have to push through. So you start losing masses of time. And from then on, Bill just pulled away because it just, the car was just too slow in the straights. I couldn't keep up. Then we had a really hairy moment at the corkscrew back mark. I think it was Tammy practically parked the car on the chicane, and Kane rear-ended me as I checked up to avoid rear-ending Tammy, and thankfully there was no damage. So from there on, it was like, you know what, let's just stay calm and bring it home, because Bill was far too gone by then to catch him.
Certainly was, of course. Phenomenal run from you tonight, Fahim, and hopefully building on to next week. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. See you next week.
We certainly will. And well, it's time to chat to a bunch of bananas, because we've got Gary Tall first up, and then we've got his teammate Paul Thurston coming up next. But Linus, you're standing by with Gary Tall. Tonight's 6th place result.
Gary Tall starting 13th, finishing P6. That was a pretty good battle you had there pretty much all the way through the race and gaining quite a lot of positions. What was your point on that?
Yeah, it was good fun. Qualifying was awful for me. In fact, the whole practice session was. So, yeah, I wasn't particularly happy with where I qualified. But then it was just a case of sticking with it. I think I got lucky with a couple of things early on, and on the tail of the second group, keeping with Mr. Hughes. I'm not sure how to pronounce his first name. And then things got a bit messy at one point, and managed to. I think I'd already overtaken him, but then I managed to get a couple more places, but I think we were 3 wide going into turn 1, which was fun.
Yeah, we were watching that whole sequence and it looked like it was a really close call there at times, but you guys did a pretty good job still to stay away from each other, so looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, it's not a track that I think I've raced at before, so bit of practice, I'm afraid, but yeah, I'm sort of back for the whole season hopefully this time.
Yeah, well, we'll be hoping to see you there and maybe see a banana in the top 5. So, see you next week.
Cheers.
Rachel?
Thank you very much, Lena. So we have Mr. Thurston with us as well. A busy race for you in the top 10. Good start to the season.
Yeah, pleased with that. I did a little bit of practice yesterday, but I mean, I've never raced at the WeatherTech Raceway before, so it's a new one on me.
Is it? I mean, it's a track that it kind of seems a little familiar to me in some regard, but it's a lot like another one we used to know called Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, but it's a little different.
Not heard of that one.
No.
But yeah, so I was quite pleased. I was pleased with qualifying. You know, might not be stupidly high, but you know, sort of 12th for the first race of the season in a grid that size, I was happy with. And then I got a little bit left out to dry on the first lap, so I think I ended up net about the same position. Gary got ahead of me, so I was then trying to stay on the tail of that second group, and I was right on the edge of the draft. So I was having to drive qualifying laps every lap just to keep up with them. Then luckily they slowed down slightly and waited for me to catch up. Then I had a little in the incident with I think it was Jack and Simon. I got caught in that on the way out with Clea, making an attempt to pronounce it, and I just nudged him and broke his rear wing, so he was a little bit slow on the straights after that. And then after that, coming into the final corner, I was on the outside of him under braking, and he turned right slightly into me, but he didn't know I was there. There's no fault, no blame or anything there. It was just the way it is, and that put me onto the dirt, and Simon got back past. But yeah, 9th. Thank you very much. Good start to the season.
Very good result. We'll let you go to get your cup of tea, your customary tea post-race tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, Paul.
No problem. See you next week.
We will do indeed. Then thank you very much for joining us. Finally, we've got tonight a chance to chat to Simon Edwards. We don't get to talk to you very often, Simon, but you know what? You've had quite a busy race tonight.
I know I didn't get a great result, but I had a great time.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, once my qualifying was done, I screwed up and damaged my front wing on the second lap, so I had nothing in the car for the third, unfortunately.
But regardless, it was still a very impressive run you actually put out there tonight, as you were battling all night long with Mr. Grillo, Williams and Mr. Tall in that one, but it seems as though you lost your rear wing at one point.
Yeah, Jack went up at the back of me on the last corner. I asked him how much is my wing damaged, and he said all of it. So
he wasn't kidding; it was missing.
No, yeah, that's it. So I was really slow then on on the straight, so I was having to defend every lap. But it was fun until he got past, and I tried to get back past, and then it went all wrong.
Still fantastic points to start off a new season with. Definitely in a position here to top 10, 7th place. Nothing to sniff at. Still chances for the championship yet. It's race 1.
Yeah, that was my thought as well, because last season I didn't finish the first race.
If you can't grow roses, at least plant daisies, because one flower is better than a patch of soil.
Yeah, mine might be nettles.
Apparently they're very good as a soup, but I'm really not willing to try that theory, having landed in enough of them in my time.
No, the trick's making it, I think.
I think it must be. Well, on that bombshell of culinary theory, we will leave you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, Simon. You can catch us back same time next week with Monday Night Skippies. We will be gone for a week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.